I've been working with a lot of insurance agents lately in the commercial line space, and it's got me thinking about what would I do differently if I started over completely from scratch in the commercial insurance world. So, for anybody that doesn't know, my name's Tyler. I own a company called Scale Ops as well as a company called Agency Aid. We staff virtual assistants for insurance agencies as well as help them grow through booked appointments with commercial clients as well as loan officers and getting referrals, stuff like that. So, I've worked with hundreds of agencies around the country. I've seen a lot of best practices. I got started in the industry on the commercial side. I went through the State Auto's Paysetter Producer Program, and I learned from some really great coaches on how to go get a massive amount of appointments and go sell commercial clients. And so recently I was on a podcast and I asked an agent what they would do differently if they started over in the industry, which got me thinking about what would I do differently. So wanted to record this video. I hope this is helpful for somebody, but I'll get into it. So one of the things that you need to think about is what is the most important metric to your business? What is the number one thing that has to get done? And so the number one most important thing, in my opinion, is convos per day with business owners. So what does this mean? So essentially, you need to be chatting with businesses and business owners every single day. Now, these don't necessarily have to be conversations about their insurance, but how do you put as much luck potentially on your side as possible? The more times you speak with your potential clients, the more chance you have of somebody bringing up insurance and you ultimately getting an opportunity to quote. So the route that most people typically go for this is networking because it feels easier. It's not a sales conversation. It's nicer. You can go to a chamber of commerce meeting or something like that, and hopefully somebody's going to send you a referral, and it feels like you're being really productive. But that's not at all what I'm talking about. So I will go through the first round of things, which are exactly what I would not do. So for no's, first of all, networking groups. And this isn't to say that networking is bad. Networking is a really great thing, but you need to keep in mind, it takes 6 months before you start to see fruits from these conversations, and you need now money to pay now bills. So how do you go have conversations as quickly as possible with business owners to potentially go sell them insurance? So I would skip the networking groups. The only possible exception is potentially groups like BNI, where it's referral based and the whole goal is to send business. But if it's just a chamber of commerce meeting, what I have found is typically the people there are in the same boat as you. They just got started. They don't have clients yet. They are a new realtor or potentially a loan officer, but it's going to be new people in business, quirky businesses who don't have any clients and they have no revenue. So if you do go write their insurance, it's a $500 bop that you made $50 on. Congratulations, you can buy dinner. That's not the route that I would go. So I would say no to networking groups. I would also say no to cold calling. And there is a little caveat here. I'll cover this in a little while. Specifically, I would say no to cold calling for X dates. So I would not be calling through asking businesses when they renew their insurance. There are other options out there, but that's one of the things I did when I got started. And I'm glad I got the experience. I'm glad I got the at-bats, because this was my first job out of college. I'd never done anything. So getting some cold calling experience was really beneficial to me. And what we did was pulled massive lists of businesses and I called them and I asked them when they renewed their commercial insurance. I'll do another video later, basically giving you my script that I used. I had a lot of success depending on the industry. I got X dates on between 8 and 13% of my calls. I got really dialed in, literally did thousands of these calls. And so built a lot of confidence, but it didn't put money in my pocket. It's not the best way to spend a producer's time. And so finally, I would make sure that you have no social media on your phone, period. delete all of the apps. You need to remove as many distractions as possible, especially if you are new in the business and you have to go make sales. You need nothing taking you away from your highest value tasks. And so let's go into what the yeses are. What are the things that I would do? So remember I said not to call for X dates. I wouldn't be doing those cold calls. I would use insurancexdates.com. So I abbreviated this. So it's insurancexdates.com. Go to your state and go export lists of businesses that renew in 60 to 90 days. 30 days is probably too tight. 45 days, you're right on the edge. 60 to 90 days is typically a sweet spot for you to call these businesses, and you already know that they're renewing their insurance. So either call them, or if you really want to get frisky, go drop in their front door and just talk to them. One of the things that I did, I'll actually show you. I was really proud of these puppies. So I had what I call yellow fellows, and I would drop in businesses all day long and leave these little things on the front door. Now, it's a phone holder, like people can set their phone on there, and that's great. But ultimately, all it is a way for me to get back in the door with somebody. So they would remember that I left these yellow fellows, and it literally just says Tyler Woodall Insurance with my phone number. Doesn't even say my agency name. It has our logo here, but I wanted them to know me. So when I called back in, I wanted to get in the door. And a lot of times I would drop in businesses after I'd X-dated them, and I would leave these yellow fellows, and it did help me massively getting in the door. I bought these things for like $3 online. If you just Google yellow phone holders, you'll find them. Something to separate yourself is massively important. And I do think drop-ins helped me a lot. So I would use insurancexdates.com, find businesses and find out when they renew, and then go call them or drop in. Next steps would be hiring a cold caller. So you can hire my company. We charge per appointment. You don't have to use us. You can pay us per every appointment set, or you can go to your local college and hire an intern. It may be cheaper that way. That's up to you. You can play with the numbers there. Obviously, my team has a lot of success because I trained them and I have their process dialed in. But essentially, you need somebody else calling to set appointments. If you can get somebody that is setting 2 appointments per day for you, you're going to have a lot of success, because that's 10 at-bats per week. And I guarantee you, if you sit down knee to knee with business owners 10 times a week, you're going to get opportunities to run quotes for their business. Or if you've been in insurance for a little while and you have some knowledge, you can be going after BORs and really start growing your business quickly. So if you don't know how to go sell BORs, I have some close friends in the industry that this is what they do. Reach out to me and I'll make some connections for you. But I would have somebody making calls and booking appointments so that they can help you get in the door so that you're saving that time. Think about cold calling as $10 to $15 an hour tasks, and you need to remove that from your plate so that you're the one actually going out and meeting with clients, doing the thing that only you can do. Get the other stuff off your plate. Next, I would start a podcast. Hear me out here. So you can take this a couple ways. You can start a local podcast like what I did. I started the Upstate Business Spotlight, where I would interview local business owners. I would post in Facebook groups asking if there's any cool local businesses that would want to get featured. And then I had a college student that would go with me, and we would go to their location and record a video. If you don't have somebody that can record for you, you can use a phone, or you can just do it over Zoom. And Zoom may be the best way if you don't have somebody going with you, but just record conversations with these business owners. One of the things I would recommend is do not pitch them. In these meetings, just record it, make it about them, post it on your agency page, post that you are sharing your podcast, and put it on your YouTube channel. Don't sell them. They'll figure out what you do. And if they like you, they'll want to do business with you. People buy from those they know, like, and trust. So make sure they know, like, and trust you. The trust is going to be built through your YouTube channel. So I would record content on FAQs. So think about what are the most common questions you get asked or that you talk about with insurance, and record videos about those. And what I would recommend, if you're a personal lines agent, you need to be doing stuff about, hey, here's why your car insurance is probably wrong. Here's why you're probably underinsured on your car insurance. If you're a business owner, if you're recording content targeting commercial clients, then you can get a lot more frisky. So for example, this is kind of fringe, personal versus commercial. One of my best performing YouTube videos I ever had for my agency was how to properly insure your Airbnb. I had a lot of real estate investors that I worked with, and this was a common thing that we were talking about all the time. I had tons of people fill out forms on my website just from this video. And so I probably wrote half a dozen policies just off a YouTube video that got 1,000 views, probably less than that. So you can have a lot of success there, but all you need to do is make sure you look like the expert, and don't overthink this. You don't have to have some fancy office setup. You can do it in front of a basic wall in your office or in your room. Just make it look clean. I wouldn't have the bed behind you. Make it look somewhat commercial, and just record content educating these people. One of the things that's really valuable is if you can go ahead and pre-answer questions people are going to have. When you're chatting with a commercial client, you can tell them, hey, I've got a video recorded on this. After this meeting, I'll send you that video so that you can look at it more in depth. I hope that's helpful, and then we can chat some more. But just anything you can do to make yourself look like an expert, because people want to work with experts. And so that brings us into the last part. I would share wins. So I would pretty frequently be a little bit vague about it. You don't want to say the business owner's name unless they're cool being posted, but people really like to work with successful people. And so if you've got a really great success story, anytime you win this new client, tell about the story, tell about why they decided to work with you, anything they said that stood out to you, or anything they said that stood out about your process. I would put all that together and post it, and maybe even make a YouTube video about it and talk about, here is how I just helped a business owner properly insure their company. Here's how I just helped a roofer save on their workers' comp and prevent future claims, etc. Stuff like that. And then one last little tidbit, I would potentially go through and name your process and your program. So again, people like to deal with experts. And so if you give them a named process, and if you have checklists on, hey, here's what your new process is going to look like for your renewal. First, here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Like I said, people like to deal with experts. And so experts know everything that's about to happen. Communicate this to the client. You're probably doing lots of stuff on the back end that these clients don't ever think about. They don't realize that you're filling out the Accord forms and then marketing to all of these different brokerages or aggregators, or going to these different MGAs. Explain that process. Explain what the underwriting process looks like, and help them to see how you're an expert and how much work you're putting in to make sure that they're protected. Come with some different ideas on how you can help them. And the more you can help with them in their business outside of just insurance, the more valuable they see you. And so that's some basic tips I have on for new producers if I was getting started over in the industry. I hope this is beneficial to you. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Please check out our Facebook group, the Agency Shop Talk. We'd love to see you in there, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.